what's up, guys? It's Chase. Sorry for the noise. I have to have my fan on. It's too hot in the summers here in Arizona to not have a fan on, even if I do have the AC going and have a fan on my ceiling. I just have a plug-in one with a stand, so that's that. I'm just gonna talk. I'm just gonna talk about Ozzy and my life with him and his solo career and Black Sabbath. So I'm just gonna do that for a bit. I don't know how long this is gonna be. Hopefully it's not long, but so I'm just gonna do that. So my earliest stuff with Ozzy is his solo stuff, mostly his solo stuff. My dad's younger brother, he was a huge fan of all that stuff. Metallica, AC/DC, Motorhead, Sabbath, Priest, Maiden, all that stuff. And so I kind of, that's really what I listened to. Motley Crue, all those bands, all those popular '80s bands, 80s and rock bands, or '80s rock and metal bands. Jesus Christ, can't talk. And Ozzy was definitely up there. His solo stuff was definitely up there. And my uncle always, it was mostly Paranoid and Masters of Reality were my uncle's two big Sabbath records that I listened to a lot when I'd go over there as a kid. And you know, it wasn't until I was a bit older, probably like 11, 12, 13, 14, whatever, I kind of branched out and listened to all the Sabbath records, all the other bands that he didn't particularly play or like, really. You know, all the Maiden stuff, all the Priest stuff, all the Sabbath and the Ozzy stuff, you know, all of it. And really getting a sense of just how good Ozzy was in both Sabbath and solo. Now, there's some records I don't like with Ozzy and Sabbath, and there's some records I don't like solo. But the guy was still out there. The guy was still Ozzy Osbourne when he was solo. He was still that arena, that sold out arena guy. He was never really he was never really that. He never played clubs. He never, during the '90s especially, he was never in, you know, financial craziness where he had to just play like 100 clubs a week. No, he was always he was always a sold out arena. Always the sold out show because he was Ozzy, and he's just one of the best, man. He really was. It fucking sucks. It really does. He will always be one of my favorites. His stuff with Sabbath is legendary, obviously. It started heavy metal. I wouldn't be here listening to heavy metal without him, for sure. He is just so instrumental in my life. He is so prominent in my music taste. He is so prominent in me being the metalhead that I am today. He is absolutely absolutely one of the greats of all time. Um, Getting to watch that show, that Back to the Beginning show, 2.5 weeks ago, basically, and being able to watch him one more time, be up there for like an hour and 10 minutes, pretty much. Hour and 10 minutes, however long he was up there for. Watching him rise up from the stage in his chair, watching him talk to the crowd before his solo band got up and before Sabbath came out. Just absolutely. I remember watching. I remember watching a video of him years ago, and him saying, "My job when I get up on stage is to have the crowd have the best experience possible. I want them to be. I want them to be there and have the best concert ever. I want them to be there and just be happy that they're there. That's my job. And I go out there every single night." And one final time, he got to rock a stage in Birmingham, England, in Villa Park. And you could tell a few times that he really wanted to just stand up and just walk across the stage and get next to Geezer, and get next to Tony, and go up next to Bill and just shake them and hug them one more time. But he couldn't because of his Parkinson's. And you just see him like trying to like adjust himself and like trying to get up or something, and he just couldn't do it. And it was crazy, man. It was great. He sounded really good. He sounded much better than I think most of us thought he would. And it was crazy because I was watching his solo set before the Black Sabbath set. And when he was singing "Mama, I'm Coming Home," I was like, "Oh damn, he's really." You can kind of tell that he's putting his heart into this, you know. And now that he died yesterday, it just puts everything into perspective about that whole show. It makes it all just so it just means everything. It really does. It really was. That last time him playing "Mama, I'm Coming Home" was like the ending of the show. Even though he played "Crazy Train" and then he went into the Sabbath stuff. That "Mama, I'm Coming Home," his last time playing that was like his goodbye to the fans and his recognition that he wasn't going to be here much longer. Because I have to admit, I was at work yesterday, and the co-worker I was with, it was just the two of us, and he had walked back to his desk really quick. I was working the back, he was working the front, and his desk is in the back. And he walked back to grab something real quick, and I was literally standing there, and I got my phone buzzed, so I picked it, and my face thing goes, and I didn't even see what the notification was, and it was an Instagram notification letting me know that Ozzy had passed, and I was like, huh? So I look over, and my coworker walks past me, and I go, "Here you go." And I put my phone up, And he walks over and what? And he's like, he just played like 3 weeks ago. I'm like, yeah, I was like, yeah, three. It's like, yeah, 2.5, 3 weeks ago. He was like, wow. I was like, yeah. I got home last night after work. And I was tired like I usually am. Long day. And I really didn't feel like playing PS4. I really didn't feel like watching TV or a movie. Just put on my headphones, connected them to my phone, and I started listening to Black Sabbath. I started listening to that first record. And then I kind of went on to Ozzy solo stuff, and I kind of shuffled, and I just kind of was just kind of laying here in bed, just like, man, it's affected me more than I thought it did. Yeah, it did. Prince of Darkness is one of the best of all time. Him, Geezer, Tony, and Bill created the music that I love. The music that is literally the soundtrack to my life. Like, if I ever make a movie or something, it's going to be a heavy metal soundtrack. 1,000%. Could be a fucking romantic comedy. It's going to have a fucking heavy metal soundtrack, and there's going to be one Sabbath or one Ozzy track on there. Has to. Ozzy Osbourne was one of the greats. He truly was the goat of heavy metal. Like, to be able to create a genre of music that has lasted 55 years. Pretty much. 1970 now, 55 years. Alright, 55 years. Did I get that right? Math, Bueller. I think I have that right. Yeah, 55 years. Hey, I did math. Yeah. But no. In all seriousness, what he started with Black Sabbath and continued to do with his solo band and what he did means everything to people around the world, and myself included. I mean, geez, to be able to create a genre of music and have it be so beloved by so many throughout the globe is crazy. The fact that Back to the Beginning concert I think it was like, because all the proceeds went to charity. I think it was like 195 or 200 million dollars. It did for charity, which is crazy. Most profitable charity concert of all time, obviously. Ridiculous. $200 million. Horns up for the Prince of Darkness. You will be missed. You will absolutely be missed. I'm gonna go rock out to some more Sabbath and some more Ozzy solo stuff. I'm gonna continue to watch videos of you being the funniest thing on planet Earth. My favorite thing that Ozzy's ever done, video-wise, is just the technology one where he has the giant, where he had the giant TV remote. It looks like a giant Xbox or PS4 PlayStation controller. It was hilarious. And he's like, I'm still on the weather channel. So funny. And then the phone rings or something, and he's like, the fuck is that? It was so funny. I was watching it this morning, and I was just, when he turns his face, he's like, it's so funny. He's like, he walks over to it, and he gets like this close to it, and he's like, he's always looking at it. It's so funny. So funny. And then there's the beer thief one that's been going around. God, that one's so funny. He's like, Sharon, there's somebody that's been in my room and taking away my beers in my room. And she's like, who do you think that would be? You've been drinking the beers. And he's like scratching his head like her. It's so funny. I love Ozzy. I miss it. I miss him so much. He was so funny, but he was so good. He was so funny. He was truly like one of the greats of pop culture, heavy metal, whatever. Anything he did, he was one of the greats of. It was funny because a couple years whenever that song with what's the guy's name? Post Malone. Whenever that song with Post Malone came out a couple of years back, and my mom was like, "Yeah, Ozzy did a song with Post Malone." And I was like, "What?" And I listened to the song. Imagine, I'm not a Post Malone guy. I couldn't tell you one song except for the song he did with Ozzy. And I was like, the fuck is this shit? And it's just Post Malone doing his thing, and then Ozzy comes in, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, his audio was doctored a bit. You can kind of tell, but it doesn't sound that bad. I'm gonna miss you, Ozzy. Really am, man. A goat. One of the best of all time. You created the genre of heavy metal with Bill, Tony, and Deezer. Rest in peace. Horns up and miss you forever, man.